Hi, how you guys doing? This is the RevivalDRIVE from Origin Effects. This is the Hot Rod edition. Alright, this is the RevivalDRIVE. Says here, purity of tone, handcrafted in the UK. I have no idea what this pedal is all about. This is the first time I'm actually laying eyes on it. From humble beginnings in a small farmhouse in the English countryside, Origin Effects has made its mark through a genuine desire to produce highly musical, superior quality audio tools that cannot be matched by profit-maximizing off-the-shelf effects pedals. So we have the website here, which is World Wide Web origineffects.com. So I figured the company name is Origin. Alright, so we have the price here. This is in Sing dollars. A RevivalDRIVE Hot Rod. Right, inspired by the high gain tones of the 1970s, the RevivalDRIVE Hot Rod replicates a range of modern amplifiers that inspire a new wave of heavy sounds. We have painstakingly recreated these tones in a fully loaded amp in a box pedal for even more gain and sustain. Awesome. Alright, so this company is based in Buckinghamshire, United Kingdom. Alright, there's a whole lot of really material on the box itself. It's amazing. High-end effects pedals with a boutique sensibility. Each pedal is hand-built in Oxfordshire, UK, utilizing the same processes and materials used when we started, ensuring each pedal is expertly calibrated, assembled, and tested to the highest standard by our highly skilled team. Okay, we have the Union Jack at the back. So this is like a normal cardboard recyclable packing, which is really neat. I like to read, I like to read from boxes. So you guys should probably know that I like to read like cornflakes, boxes, cornflakes boxes, that origin. Nice sticker here. Nice instruction manual. More quick guide here. Cool. I'll read that later on. What is this? Sample settings. All right. Oh man, this is so beautiful. Okay, this gotta be one of the more attractive, or the most attractive pedals I've reviewed so far. Like, you know, this is like, good lordy, it's mighty pretty. This is absolutely beautiful, if I must say so. So we can just cut the box right now. Check this out. Oh man, looks so cool. And it's heavy. It's built like a tank. It's all metal, you know, tempered metal, I guess. Cool. So there you go. When I first opened this up in the unboxing, you know, I was taken aback by how these effects look like. You know, we're just stepping into geek land right now because there's a whole lot of parameters here that you can adjust to your heart content. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So basically, this effect pedal has two sections. You have the valve rectifier and the silicon rectifier. Basically, the valve rectifier side will represent the British amps, the Marshalls and Vox and whatnot. The silicon rectifier represents, the American amps, like, the Mesa Boogies, the Dumples, whole lot of parameters to adjust. You have the gain switch, you have your low, you have, there's this presence mode where you can tighten up your sound a little bit. It's all subtle things when you can actually hear it when you start tweaking. And of course, there is this blend knob where you can actually blend in your clean guitar with the overdrive signal. So that's pretty interesting. And as you go down, all these little dip switches, these are all really interesting. You have, I think the most interesting is the mid boost, where you can actually control this via an optional foot switch, and you can kind of like boost up the mid range, and you can even adjust how much decibel you want to increase, and which frequency you want, which frequency of the mid section that EQ section that you want to boost, and you can actually use an optional foot switch to kind of kick in like a boost pedal, and then you have the various stuff like the EQ, like certain EQ settings for certain amps. Sometimes you get a darker sounding amp, you can actually have EQ to compensate. Even settings for a power amp, and how power amps are, there's basically not much EQ to play around with. And then you have this bright switch. How some amps like the Fender amps has a bright switch, so it gives you this option to turn it on and off, and you can even choose the British amp kind of bright switch or the US type of bright switch. So it's pretty interesting. The unit itself has just two switches, to turn it on or off. Then this kind of like select between the valve rectifier or the silicon rectifier, and that's it. So the optional foot switch, which is connected by the back, is really useful, where you can actually activate your mid boost. At the back, you only have the input, right, and the foot switch, and the power supply, and then the out, where you can hook this up to an amp or to a DAW. Right here, you have three switches for you to kind of like adjust whether you want this unit to be like to sound like it's powered through a 60 cycle 60 hertz power supply or a 50 hertz power supply. So like the US will use a 60 hertz and the British will use 50 hertz. So yeah, it's all geeky stuff, little subtle things, so interesting. And the way to approach this unit is not just to hone in on whatever geek stuff that is apparent in this unit. You need to hear how it sounds like with your guitar. Use your ears, and kind of tweak it and see what's the difference as you tweak along. And it's really nice. It's a journey, and the unit doesn't come with a bunch of instructions. It just comes in with like a cheat sheet, like a instant guide to get you started, right? You can download the instruction or rather the manual on a PDF format from the website. What do I think about this unit? And I initially had problem playing this unit because I thought it sounded really hairy because I was using my Telecaster, so it doesn't play well with single coil guitars. It plays really well with humbuckers. So as you can see, I was using the Harley Benton Fusion Pro T, so it works fine with this. So as you can see, I was recording through the Vox. This is the Vox AC10 C1, and it sounds really nice. The Vox has no mid control. It just have low and highs, and that's it. So that mid control that you have in this unit comes in really handy. I just find that sometimes you need to kind of like coax it a little bit to get the sound to come out a little bit more, to pop out a little bit more. This has a tendency to kind of like to sink in within the mix. So I guess this unit is really good for like overdriven chords, like like the grounded section of the song. But when it comes to solo, for me, I would rather use something else to kind of pop out the solo section. I could still do it, but it would be heavily manipulated by EQ and compressors and stuff like that, which I tend not to do too much these days. Other than that, this unit is a fine unit to play around with. You know, it's like a toy. For me, it's like a toy. It's like, well, not those smaller toys, it's like a serious toy. And you know, in time, if I spend like a month or a year with it, I can probably get a nice sounding solo sound with it. And then you have to like work it with different amps. Like, you know, you just can't use it with the Vox. You gotta use it with like Fender Deluxe, you know, the other Fender amps or the other Marshall amps. You know, it might work well, you know. And mind you, this unit is just pure solid state. There's no tubes in it, but it responds like a tube amp, you know. And I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty glad I got a chance to play with this pedal. Oh, and that reminds me, this pedal is provided for this review with the kind courtesy of Davis Music Singapore. I want to thank Janet for this. Tell me what you think. You guys own this? Any experience with this? What do you think of it? You know, unit's not cheap. You know, I'll put a price down here. But I guess, you know, there's a place for units like this. Right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up and join this channel. Come on, join this channel. And a shout out to the Patreon page that I have. So please support this channel if you want to. I'll see you again. I will not be having live stream this Saturday, tomorrow. I will be taking a rest because I have another live stream, with an interview from Deity Microphones Asia. So I will not be having live stream this week. I'll probably have one next week. So it's either I see you then in a live stream or in the next video. So you guys take care. Arrivederci.